Hello everybody. So in today's video, I will be going through the process of loading data from Google Sheets to Google BigQuery. Okay, so in the previous videos, I have showed you how to load CSV files from Google Cloud Storage to BigQuery. So in this video, I will be showing another option where you have your data living in Google Sheets. So let's get to it. All right, so right here, I have a CSV file in Google Sheets, and I just downloaded this one from the internet, and this shows a list of crimes in the city of Chicago. So this is a huge file. I believe it has, it has around 166,545 records if you exclude the header. So I just downloaded this file, but you can use any file. You can create a file of your own if you just want to quickly see how it works. Okay, so once I have this file uploaded to Google Sheets, the next thing that I will need to do is go to BigQuery right here, and what I will need to do once I'm here in BigQuery is, so I'm just going to close some of these tabs, right, so we can start fresh. So you will need to create a data set if you don't already have a data set, and just to do that, you have to go to your project ID and create a data set. Okay, fill in the options and just hit create. So I'm not going to do that. I already have a data set here that I have created for CK data. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to load this file to this data set here. Okay, so to do that, all you have to do is right here in this option here, so just click it and hit the create table option. Okay, so it will bring this menu here where you have to fill some of the options, and for the source data, our data will be in Drive, and this will be a Google Sheets URL. So I'm going to click Drive, and the drive here for the URI, we want to put the URL for Google Sheets. So if you go to Google Sheets and just copy the URL here, or just hit here and copy the link, that will also do. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight that and copy, and we want to put it right here. Okay, so that will be the URI for your table in Google Sheets, and the file format for this one is a CSV, and we want to put it, the rest of this will be pre-filled really, and our data set will be this one that I selected. Yours may be different. Okay, so what we need to do next then is to specify the table, and this one I'm going to call this Chicago crimes. Okay, so I'm going to call it Chicago crimes, and here you will see that the only option that you have is external table. Now usually you will see two types of table, or two table types, when you're creating a BigQuery table. So there is native table, and that really means that you're bringing your data inside BigQuery. So you will be storing the data inside BigQuery. But for this option, we will be storing our data outside or externally. So we are not bringing this data to BigQuery. We just want to query it from BigQuery, but our data will be living outside of BigQuery. So it will be living in a Drive, Google Drive, and it will be under Google Sheets. Okay, so that will be an external table. So the next option then is to specify the schema, and in this case, I want to do the auto detect. So this will scan through the rows and the records, and for each column, it is going to detect what the column data type will be. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go to advanced options. And here, the rest of this will be the same. It's a CSV, comma, delimited file. We want to skip the first row, okay? Because that is where our headers will be, okay? So the first row will be headers. And basically that's it. So we just go ahead and hit create. So that should be able to create our table if we don't have any errors, okay? So we will let it run. Yeah, depending on the file, it might take varying amounts of time. So if you have a huge file, it will take a little bit to create it. If it's a small file, it will run quickly. So our table has been created now in this dataset. Okay, so we can see Chicago crimes right here, and you can see the details for the schema. So you can see now your field names here, and these were automatically auto-detected by BigQuery. Okay, so we have ID, which is an integer, case number will be a string, date will be a timestamp with this format, and the rest of the other columns. Okay, so if you go to details here, you will see the URI, which will be right here, and you can navigate to that if you want. You can click it and it will bring you right to where your file is. And you can see some of the other options that we put when we created this table. Okay. So compared to some other native tables, you will see here that you don't have the preview option. So for external tables, we don't have the preview option, and I'll see what I mean by that. So if you go, for example, to this native table that I have here for marathon winners, we do have the same details, right? And in details here, for example, you will see that you see the number of rows, and we do have preview. So preview will let you actually preview the data in your table. So for native BigQuery tables, we do have that option, but for external tables, we don't have it. Okay, so you have some other things like lineage, data quality, and whatnot. Okay, so from here, all you can do is query the data if you just want to preview the data. So you'll have to query this table. So let's go ahead and do that. So if you go and select 1,000 records and click enter, or basically run it, let's see if we are able to see that data show up. So again, because it's a huge file, it might take a little bit to run, and it's also referring to external tables, so it might not be very quick as if as when you are running a traditional native BigQuery table. So this one is still running, so we'll give it a little bit. And BigQuery, right, is pretty neat. It will tell you the slot time consumed and number of bytes, and all of these metrics. So if you wanted to analyze if your query is, for example, is running slowly, then you can use some of these metrics to do that. So we will let this run, and once we get our data, we will be able to compare if we see the same records as we see here. Okay. So this is a big file. Okay, so that completed, and here we have our records now. Okay, so you can see that we do have the headers here now and our rows showing up. Okay, so this is the data that we have right here in our Google Sheets. So this is basically how you do it. So if you are working with external stakeholders who actively update a Google Sheets spreadsheet, and you want to use BigQuery to query that, then you can use the external table. All right, okay. So that's how you do it. And I just want to show you another quick thing just so I got so because whenever basically once you create that, it's always going to bring you the latest records that you have in your Google Sheets. So assume that I uh, you insert or you get the latest records out of this. So I'm going to uh, include this record here. I'm going to just do double of this, but instead of the ID, instead of this ID here, I will just change the ID, right? I'm going to change this ID to some random IDs. I'll just do 111 All right. So how many ones are these? These are 6 ones. Okay. So these are 6 ones. So let's see now if we go to BigQuery and we query for this ID. Let's see if we'll be able to get it return. Okay. So I'm going to modify this query and say where ID equals that ID right there. Okay. So remember this ID is a integer. So when you're passing it in, you just pass it as an integer. So I'm going to run it, and hopefully we should be able to see this record show up because it is a live. It brings the recent and live data based on whatever changes you make on your file. Okay. So whenever this file changes and you query it from BigQuery, you get the latest records as well. So let's see if that's going to show up in our table here. All right, so okay, so there we go. So that is that record that we added, and it is showing up now. Okay. So whenever there are any updates made to these sheets, you will get the records updated on your table. So once you create a table and it's pointing to this, you will always get the latest record. So somebody comes and updates this sheet, you will be able to see those records. Okay, so I'm going to delete this file here because this was this record I mean. Okay, so that is that, and you can do the same thing after you delete it. Let's run it and see if it's still showing up. Yeah, so this might be just a feature of external tables that when you're querying, it is not as fast as if you were querying native tables. And I think there might be some settings in BigQuery that you can use, maybe things like caching. I don't know if caching is enabled for external tables. So that might be some performance tuning options that you can do when you're querying external tables. So it does look like generally it's a bit slow when you're querying external tables compared to if you're querying a native BigQuery table. So just that's something that you may just have to put in your mind because this is taking 1 minute to retrieve one record. I have queried a table that has more than 1 million, a native BigQuery table, and it takes us a quicker time to run. Okay, so our query has run now, and right here we have no data, just like we expected because we removed that record here. Okay, so you can see that right when you update your sheets, that the records also reflect in BigQuery. Okay, so yeah, if you have any use case really that requires you to query or to bring in Google Sheets data to BigQuery, that is the process of doing it. Okay, so it's called an external table. So your data is living in Google Drive, within Google Sheets, and you're just querying it from BigQuery. Alright guys, that's what I just wanted to show you in this video. I hope you liked it. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe now so that the next time I release similar videos, you'll be notified. Also, give the videos thumbs up and do share with your friends. All right, guys, I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.